Living close to Liberty State Park, I've been coming here regularly for a number of years, sometimes by myself, at other times with a four-legged companion. The duck was a little slippery, documenting the wildlife juxtaposed with the extraordinary views of New York and the Statue of Liberty. Great egrets once hunted almost to extinction to provide feathers for ladies' hats, saved due to environmentalists like Theodore Roosevelt. Liberty State Park is a green oasis of just over 1,200 acres, of former rail yards and industrial land, right in the heart of the megalopolis. Created thanks to the passion of Audrey Zapp, Theodore Conrad, Morris Pessin, and J. Owen Grundy. The green heron, belted kingfisher, gray catbird, orchard oriole, starlings on the Michael Graves designed Nature Interpretive Center. This area we are walking through, along a gravel path, is all restored habitat.
Come on, I think keep going, Thomas, through there.
Milkweed, without which there would be no monarch butterflies. Muskrats, at one time trapped in large numbers for their fur. Insects, although some of them are unpleasant to us, are a vital part of the food chain. Watch out in the summertime for these little guardians, the tick. Barn swallows, the rough-winged swallow, and the tree swallow. Considering the impact of high population and an industrial past, There is very good fishing for striped bass and bluefish in the Hudson River, from boat or shore. Floating on a block of polystyrene is probably not recommended. This is a quiet backwater, but the river is subject to strong tidal currents. A common tern feeding its demanding young on the handrail, amongst the many birds attracted by the abundant baitfish. This is possibly my favorite bird, the black skimmer, skimming across the reflections of Gotham, lower bill breaking the water surface, ready to snap closed on unsuspecting small fish. Wading birds congregate as the incoming tide concentrates small fish in the low tide channels. At one time before the river was constrained for commerce and industry, the whole area consisted of mudflats and oyster beds. The Hackensack Native Americans used to camp here in the summer. Marshlands and tidal flats are now valued for preservation and for their role in the ecosystem and flood absorption. Oysters and mussels can still be found at Cave and Point Beach and are being actively encouraged in the Hudson due to their ability to filter out pollutants. Bad weather can bring in an unusual number of birds. After Tropical Storm Irene, there was over 50 skimmers here, compared to the usual 2 or 3. The goldfinch, state bird of Iowa and New Jersey. State bird of Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, and North Carolina, the northern cardinal. This field is a popular hangout spot for horned larks, where they go unnoticed by all but nature enthusiasts. Red-winged blackbird, song sparrow, Over the course of time, the skyline has changed due to tragic, world-shattering events. A reminder of the park's industrial past. Usually nocturnal, this opossum was released by somebody from a trap. State bird of Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas. That artful mimic, the mockingbird. Unpopular with picnickers, these summer thunderstorms are enjoyed by those of us who love to watch the intensity of nature. The World Trade Center is regularly hit by lightning. And after the storm comes the rainbow. As the sun breaks through, refracting in the raindrops. Loved by Benjamin Franklin for its admirable qualities. Common in much of the country, nice to see with the Statue of Liberty as a backdrop. A depression filled with rainwater attracts the yellowlegs and grackles. Wintertime, Norman Rockwell scenes of sledding, and still good bird watching in the bare foliage.
Come on, up the ice, come on back. Come back here, come on.
Back from extinction in much of the United States, the peregrine falcon has been reintroduced in much of its range, nesting now on the ledges of skyscrapers and bridges. Also returned to its natural habitat in the nearby Palisades, where they have attained celebrity status, followed by the birding paparazzi. I feel there is something unique about watching a magnificent bird with the Statue of Liberty as a backdrop. Yellow shafted flickers. The kestrel, helmeted like its legendary cousin, the peregrine falcon, weighing only a few ounces. Constantly on the lookout. Out in the bay, November through May, many people would be surprised to find that we have harbor seals. Not as abundant as in San Francisco, but a sign of the improving health of the river. Winter brings a variety of ducks into our area. Buffleheads, a horned grebe with a sand eel, red-throated loon, an immature black-crowned heron struggling with the cold. Red-shouldered hawk. Migrants from the far north tundra, American tree sparrows are only here for the winter. A northern harrier on one of the osprey platforms that has yet to find an occupant, although I do see them fishing in the summer. This fairly nice chair was abandoned on Caven Point Beach and I later took it home. Signs of a snowy owl's successful hunting. The 2013-14 winter had a spectacular eruption of snowy owls, where they could be found far outside their natural range. This is possibly caused by fluctuations in the lemming population, a major source of prey, or weather conditions. Sometimes, on seeing an interesting bird, if you stop and watch for a while, something fascinating might happen. The Inuit indigenous people of the Arctic have observed raven-snowy owl interactions and have a folktale about this. But this was something to witness as an urban wildlife enthusiast, right across the Hudson from Manhattan, New York. The owl is totally unimpressed. The raven is not aggressive but very curious, trying to get a reaction, testing with erect air feathers, bowing and wing flaring, until it gains respect, realizing that this big white bird is not going to cooperate and be its toy. What a completely wonderful surprise. The one time I have ever seen a long-eared owl, this was right next to the walkway alongside the golf course. Owls regurgitate pellets so that bones don't have to pass through their digestive systems. I enjoy walking around in the winter, breathing the fresh cold air, savoring the atmosphere and the solitude. In 2015, there was only the occasional glimpse of a snowy owl. However, a juvenile goshawk had taken up residence in the park, attracting serious bird watchers.
Are you sure?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, he's left.
Oh, there he goes.
Remediated wildlife habitat, natural areas, passive recreation. Liberty State Park caters to the natural world, picnickers, tourists, all with the dramatic backdrop of America's melting pot. Alice Island, gateway for past immigrants, and the Colossus of New York Harbor, the Statue of Liberty. Thank you, France.
I'm just going to start your I've now just started the Zoom. I'm going to end I'm gonna end my screen sharing. And now turn this out now. Oh, I'm just gonna stop screen sharing and then right. And then I will just speak from here briefly. So
Okay.
thank you to John Dunstan for that beautiful video. I see we have some people that may have written in the chat, so I will read those out And anyone here or virtually, if you have any questions for John, feel free to read them out there and he'll answer. All right. All right.
Now,
so-
do I have to mute or unmute or something? I don't
you're
really
all
do this.
good. So
Good.
I'm just going to,
Okay.
whatever we say will get picked up from there.
All right.
So we have totally beautiful sights and sounds. Thank you very much. Thank you. What a wonderful video. One of my favorite New Jersey wonders. Keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you.
That film was fantastic, really beautiful. Someone asked, can we do one for Flat Rock Brook?
Why not?
So I
Right.
mean, so yeah, if John is willing to come and photograph us, we'll be happy to have him.
Yeah, so I could do that.
Yeah, we would definitely love that. This is another person said the film is a treasure. Thank you, beautiful presentation. Did anybody here have any questions regarding the video?
How familiar are you with the axis of evil, with firemen and
Oh, I know the whole history of it.
Okay, maybe you could
going
just
back-
explain to some of the people that are not from the area.
Right.
About the whole.
Right, well, the golf course
issue.
opened back in 2007, and ever since then, they've wanted to expand into Caven Point. So they've basically created a climate of community division. For instance, back in 2007, there's a local activist was actually protesting their tournament, wanting him to pay for community facilities in the area for the youth. But after he met with the golf course, he's actually been one of their biggest, he's been working with the golf course to undermine groups like Friends of Liberty State Park. Of course, they pretend they have nothing to do with it, but this seems to be the model now where, you cause community division to try and get you what you want if you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So.
A billionaire.
Billionaire. Yeah, where incidentally, Rudy Giuliani is a member. So
Say no.
that's that. But I just find the whole thing kind of insidious.
So we do have a question. Someone said, can people walk/hike on the golf course? The Google map seems to show trails.
No, not on the
No.
golf course. No,
No.
I think you're not,
Yeah.
you cannot go on that. The membership cost is $500,000, and they don't want people walking there.
It's a national, it's one of those like Liberty, it's Liberty National.
Right, and actually,
It's
actually speaking, Paul Fireman gave $1 million to Chris Christie's presidential run. And at that time, he got a land use request from the New Jersey DEP for Caven Point, which to me sounds pretty corrupt. And then now I think it seems like Murphy is on board with what he wants to do. But anyway, this is, this makes me angry.
On a non-physical point, do they have ospreys there?
Yes, they're non-nesting, but you'll see osprey, pulling fish out of the river, eating their fish on a tree or something. But there are 2 osprey platforms, neither of which have attracted nesting pairs.
You saw the peregrine sitting on, well, that wasn't even there though.
What's that?
The peregrine that was sitting on
Yeah,
the platform, that wasn't at the park.
that was at the park.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
okay.
the platform was at the park. The scene in the Palisades was just to show their natural habitat.
Okay.
And just add an aside, but this film was actually made, taken from a longer film. I made a longer film about all of the wildlife of Jersey City, including like Lincoln Park. Mandy Edgecombe, who was like an assistant to Laurie Goff, who was the naturalist and who sadly just passed. I said, well, why don't I just take out the stuff about Liberty State Park and make a separate film? And they played that in the Blue Comet room there for a number of years. I don't know if they still play it or not. I haven't really checked to see.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, now I love that movie. That's a great movie.
So how do they manage the invasive plantings?
Um,
There was like lots of that.
yeah, I think a year or 2 ago, they brought in goats to eat them.
They what?
Had goats there a couple of years
I've
ago.
heard of that.
I heard of that process.
It was before the pandemic.
Oh, well, yeah, probably. No, I actually made the film a few years back now too, you know, because you can see some of the earlier footage, the World Trade Center is not even completed.
And also the nature center is
Yeah.
not, it's now it's open and it.
Oh, yeah, it was
different-
closed for the
different
long,
building.
after Sandy, it was all flooded. It was closed. They had to take a while to get the money for that.
Yeah, it's beautiful inside now though. We
It-
took our
it
own
is.
little field trip there.
Where's the nature center?
It's right on the main drive that goes north to south.
Yeah, you can see it in the film. It's like that pale blue colors, like, I forget, who was the architect? I mentioned it in the film. I've forgotten his name now, but,
Michael Graves.
yeah, Michael Graves, that's his signature color. And you can get his barbecue tongs at Target, which are the same color.
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
And he has a famous kettle with a blue handle, that color.
That was great.
We also have another question here. It says, is Black Tom Island part of the park?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, because you can, I think the area at the south of the park was where the Black Tom explosion happened. And that was the only, I think, foreign attack, or attack by Germans on American soil before the United States entered World War I. Saboteurs from Germany actually blew up munitions storage facilities there. Shrapnel hit the Statue of Liberty, and the piers at the south end, you can see there's a lot of twisted metal and stuff. I believe that was part of the Black Tom facility at one point. Yep. Anything else?
If anyone else who's virtual has any last minute questions for John, feel free to type those out in the chat. But as of right now, it seems we're at a bit of a lull. So if anyone
Oh,
else-
Joe?
John, do you see any bald eagles?
Oh, yeah, bald eagles I'm seeing more and more all the time. In fact, there's now a nest in Bayonne by the Coast Guard Center. It's like on that peninsula near the Costco. And Kearney has a bald eagle
And
nest
people
too.
have been seeing them in Lincoln Park.
Oh, yeah, I've filmed them, you know, flying over, sitting in a tree in Lincoln Park West. And I've also, since I made the film, you know, I've recorded one sitting on the old Osprey platform, which is now kind of broken on the top. But in the Nature Center pond, I've seen one there.
the ones in South County just hatched. Their observers just observed them feeding the babies.
But I know upriver, I've seen 25 or more.
Oh, the bald eagle is very much a success story. You know, it was almost extinct, at least in the eastern parts
Yeah.
of the United States, and was reintroduced, you know, with the help of falconers and various means.
Don Jarino, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been,
He's amazing. Mhm.
Yeah, he
Yeah, but-
actually he was our first lecturer for this, for our series in general 2 years ago.
Several years ago, he's about to graduate college, but our son, when he was in middle school, did a whole sort of report, like a history thing on, you know, things like Silent Spring and how,
Yeah.
you know, how they were almost extinct and how they've been brought back. And he actually interviewed Don as part of this, as part of the.
oh, is anybody still on the Zoom?
This was the balding.
Is there anyone still on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, there are a few more questions. What's the most surprising or rare animal you have seen in the park?
Oh, surprising. Goshawk is probably pretty rare. What else would be surprising?
Foxes.
Yeah, but foxes are spreading their habitat. I've seen them in Bayonne on Broadway by the Italian bakery.
Some people have reported that they have seen beaver activity.
Oh, yeah. Now, I've seen the trees that have been cut and people have seen beavers. I haven't really gone looking for them.
No one's ever
But-
seen the actual beavers.
Oh, they
just see the
have.
trees.
Yeah, somebody
Oh, they have.
posted an iPhone. Well, it could also be a Galaxy. I don't know what kind of phone. But they posted a beaver along the walkway by Cave Point, running along the, the cobbles there.
Which is why he can't have it.
Have you ever seen whales?
I've been wanting to. In fact, when I walk, I actually, right now, what I've mainly been doing is concentrating on watching seals. This winter, I basically just go over by the south end on the piers, and I've recorded a lot of them. Sometimes you'll see as many as a dozen out there, and occasionally I'll see when there's a fish run come through, and you can see them come up with a big fish in their mouth. So hopefully we'll have a few more weeks of that before they move up north. But I have been looking for a whale. In fact, I call out to them sometimes. Just hoping it, but tourists have come who first time visit, been on a pier in Manhattan, and it's been a humpback come by. I've never had that
I
luck.
think right whales might be the only,
Oh, was it right whale?
I think that's the ones I've heard of.
Yeah, you might.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep it coming up.
I could be wrong on the variety, but
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the how many they've gotten, or the numbers past few years, but I know that they do exist in the area.
right.
Yes, someone was asking, what made you interested in the park? And do you have any other films?
Oh yeah, I do. I live in Jersey City. I live perhaps, maybe a mile and a half from the park. I guess what got me interested probably was photography. I got, when you get a camera, you start getting interested in photographing birds and things, and then it opens up a new world. It allows you to see this. I think if I wasn't photographing or filming, I perhaps wouldn't have gotten so interested. So that's kind of my window into it.
And then we also had somebody ask if you've seen any dolphins.
I have not seen dolphins there. A friend of mine called me one time when a small dolphin was stranded on the rocks, but this is, apart from that, I've not seen any.
And then another question just came in. What other places do you enjoy hiking?
I wouldn't really classify this as hiking. It's just an urban park. I guess it could count, but I live by Lincoln Park in Jersey City. They've done a remediated area in Lincoln Park West across Route 440, and I like to go there a lot. I can just get out of my car, and if there's an osprey on the tree on the islands, I don't even have to walk. I can set my camera up.
All right.
And I like going to the Palisades to State Line Lookout too, as I had a little aside in the movie of it.
All right. What's some of the other videos that you've done?
I made one movie called Winter Bird Watching in Jersey City, which was really focusing on like snowy owls. Well, I guess plus a few other birds, but it was Lincoln Park and Liberty State Park. I made a longer movie called Jersey City, the Wildlife and Me, where a lot of this movie was taken from, because what happened was the rangers at Liberty State Park wanted to do something with film. So I said, well, why don't I just take out the parts about the park and then add to it, so you'll have something just of the park. And I also take a lot of short movies too. I'll post regularly on Instagram. Like I have an Instagram called Wild Jersey City. So, every couple of days or every week, I'll put up, a minute clip or a photograph. Most of the ones lately have been of the seals.
What about The Secret Life of My Small Urban Backyard?
Oh yeah, I made a movie called The Secret Life of My Small Urban Backyard that actually got
And the English tour and
yeah, Gay, wait, I don't have to tell them every name of the movie, they won't remember them, but The,
You can send us a list, we'll add it. to
yeah,
the-
we'll send a list to,
Yeah, if
on
you'd
our
like us.
Facebook, our website page to your videos, that would be great.
Again,
Good.
we have somebody pushing for the secret life of Flat Rock Brook.
oh yeah, that sounds good. The only thing is it takes me a while because, like in this movie, you can see in it, there was footage taken over a few years. You can tell that just by the progress of the World Trade Center. So, maybe in a year or two, I'll have it completed.
Yeah. All right. So it seems that our questions have come to a little bit of a halt unless there's any last minute questions. Those of you at home, if you can hear that in the background, that is our American Kestrel Titus.
Oh,
He
good.
seems to be,
He has a question.
he seems to have a question. But unless anybody speaks Kestrel, I'm not quite sure what he's asking.
I believe it's, have you seen any girls lately?
He's been desperately looking for a girl lately.
I have to say, I did see you guys at Lincoln Park, and I was kind of impressed when you were holding him and turning him, and the bird's head stayed exactly in the same position. That was pretty
the
impressive.
Halloween.
Was-
Yeah, that was one close to Halloween.
Was it?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, and we were socially
Well,
distancing
yeah,
there.
Yeah. And so yes, we just have a thank you, of course. So I think that's might be a good place to end it. It seems like Titus is telling us that we all must vacate so that we get his beauty rest. Someone said thanks again. The film was really brilliant. And on that note, yes, thank you so much, John Dunstan, for coming.
Good. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you all for joining us here virtually and in person for our second installment in the Importance of Urban Green Spaces lecture series. Our next one is in 2 weeks on the 19th. And that will be, I believe, Mike Van Cleef, invasive species. And he's going to talk about all the different threats and things like that. So definitely check us out. We will be having this recording posted on, or, available if people want it. And thank you all for being here. Thank you so much.
Good. And thanks to all the people who watched online.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so
Sienna.
much, John.
Good.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Good.
Thank you.